Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super exciting. I'm finally going to be testing out the new Blendiful by Tati Beauty. This has been like all over social media lately and I was so intrigued to try it and a little bit terrified. So I got it earlier in the week, but I held off using it and I haven't even opened it yet because I wanted to film a video, a first impression. So first of all, this is the packaging. I love that she's like really conscious about waste, and the packaging is really simple but still really nice. It has like this beautiful rose gold lettering. So let's go ahead and open this up and test it out because I can't wait any longer. Okay, so right out of the package, here is the little mini guy. Oh wow, it's so soft, it slipped out of me. Okay, so here is the little mini guy and the big guy. You can see how big it is in comparison. These things are super soft, and wow, this is going to be so weird to apply. And I'm not going to wash it first. I have seen a few people have some like shedding problems. I could see why, because yeah, it is kind of shedding, but we're just going to test it out and see how it goes right out of the bag. You can use this on both sides, so you can move her little name to either side, and so you have two sides to work with, and so that helps not having to clean it as often and stuff like that. And then you have like this little mini guy, which from what I understand, it's for like touch-ups on the go if you need to touch up your makeup, or if your skin gets a little bit oily, you can use this to like blot the excess oil out. So that happens to me, so I'm going to definitely try that out and see how that goes. This thing is like really soft. It's going to be really interesting to use this. Okay, and as far as like cleaning it goes, it says that you can just wash it at the sink in warm soapy water and then let it dry, and also machine wash and dry in a delicate laundry bag. So I would probably opt for just washing it at the sink like I do with a beauty sponge, and then maybe deep clean it in the washing machine like maybe every so many uses, not too often, but you know. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit so we can get a better view. Okay, so now you guys are zoomed in, so we are going to go ahead and test this out. It does say to use all products with this, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use my pore filler first. This one is the Timeless Smoothing Primer, the only one that I use. And this is going to be really bizarre, but I'm excited to try it. So let's just dip in there. And it does say to use like different corners for different things that you're using. So I want to, hopefully you guys can see that it does, like it's smoothing out my skin already. Can you see like this side to this side? It does like blur out my pores. This is my favorite primer. So, and the only thing I have on my skin, like I have my regular moisturizer, my Origins one, and then I used my Smashbox primer oil. This has like become a favorite of mine really quickly. I thought this is a good time to test this out too. I do have like a few breakouts right now, so I want to see like how well this will cover it up and not like disturb those spots. That makes sense. Now I'm going to move on to foundation. So I didn't want to try anything new because I wanted to make sure that I'm giving the Blendiful a fair chance. So I'm going in with my favorite combo. This is what I wear almost every single day. It's the Wet n Wild Original Photo Focus Foundation. And then I mix it with the Dior Forever Skin Glow. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm using Golden Beige and 2W0 in these foundations, and I'm just going to mix them on the back of my hand. And I like to apply the foundation first to my face, so I'm just going to do some foundation. And then I'm just going to start blending it out with this little corner that I wiped my finger onto. And I'm not sure how we should go about doing this. I guess we're just going to swipe it on for now. I have seen some people like press it into their skin, and so I'm probably going to end up doing both. But wow, this is really soft. And I do have a lot of redness around my nose area. A lot of women tend to get redness there. So this is how it looks. Wow. It actually looks really good. Let's do the other side. Okay. And so first I'm just gonna rub it on. And then I'm gonna go in and like pat also. And this doesn't seem like it's soaking up a lot of foundation or anything like that. The camera shut off for a second, so I had to fix that. But we're back. Okay, let's go in with forehead and nose area. Okay, let's see. This feels really good though. And typically I can never use like a swiping motion like I'm doing on my skin. It just never looks good, but this looks really good. Now the nose is a really finicky part. I'm just gonna tap it on my nose. I think it looks pretty good. I do look a little bit dry around my nose area and a little bit dry in between my eyebrows, which is the two places that tend to be like more problem areas for me. But all in all, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, let's move on to concealer and test that out. So I'm going to be using my two go-tos, which is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and then the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer. So I used the e.l.f. one right underneath my eyes just because it's quite light. So I just use it right here, and then I go in with the other one like right below that. Okay, I'm just going to take an edge, I'm just going to like half it and squish it up and take like this little corner right here. It does keep like a lot of the coverage. I'm used to like my beauty sponge kind of picking up some of the product. It did blend out really nicely. I am still like noticing a little bit of dryness in this area. Let's go ahead and do the other side. And you can really like get in that area with this thing. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good. So now we're just going to set everything. So we're going to test this out with our powders. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm just going to take this other end. We're just going to dip into this. Let's do the other side. We're going to set up here. And then my nose, I always like heavily have to set that because my nose always like flakes off. So I want to try this with like a pressed powder and see how that goes. So I have it right here and I'm just going to press it on where I normally would. I just feel like this powder helps to blend out bronzers and stuff like that, and it doesn't make it kind of drag on my face, and that's kind of where you can get that cakiness and unevenness on like your bronzer. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my bronzer. So I'm using my Hoola Benefit Caramel bronzer, and yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, but we're just going to dip into it. I'm just going to do like the powders all in the same corner, and I don't know how this is going to go. Oh, I'm scared. That's real dark. With just this, it's so concentrated. I'm scared. Let me add some to this side. And then I'll go back in. Oh, it looks a little bit harsh, huh? Let's try and blend it out a bit more. How does that look? I feel like it looks a lot harsher in the camera than it does in real life. The camera always like makes things look more harsh. Like my hands look super dark on camera. They're really not that dark in person, but you know, it's fine. I will say this is really smooth and It's not like getting caught on my skin or anything like that. I think I need more bronzer. I love bronzer, and I don't know. Probably don't need any more, huh? Okay, for contour, I have been using this matte contour, and this is in Sculpt. Hopefully this looks okay with this. We're just gonna use, I like using this pointed end for like the powders. So I'm just gonna add like the lines, and then I'm gonna blend it out because it's a little bit harsh. Okay. Wow, 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 it's really harsh. Okay, let's really blend this out. And I like to contour under my lip too. Let's see. Looks pretty good to me. And then I like to go underneath here also. Kind of give me some more definition. I'm going to take this little edge over on this side, and I'm going to go in with some blush using MAC Melba. I'm just taking like the middle section and just softening the edges a little bit. I definitely think I have like more control doing my powders like bronzer, contour, the blush. I think I prefer using a brush for that, but I'm a huge fan of this for my primer and my foundation, concealer. That did a really, really good job with it. I would probably stick to using brushes for the powders, and also I love this for setting my face, but I feel like when I use a regular powder puff to set my face, it's pretty smooth. I'd have to do like a side by side with my current powder puff and this to see if there's a difference in how smoothing it is. I really like to use this Hourglass powder as well, so I'm going to take this and just swipe over it. I'm using the shade Dim Light. So I like stab myself in the eye. So I'm going to switch over to the other side. We're going to do highlighter. I'm going to use this Jaclyn Hill palette in the Flash. So I'm going to take the two bottom shades of the palette. Okay. Wow, 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 that's so intense. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting that. Wow. I think I needed to like lighter hand with this. This thing picks up an insane amount. Holy crap. I was not expecting that. I can't even get that with my brush or beauty sponge. Wow, that's insane. Wow for highlighter. I did not expect to like that for highlighter. And I need to like blend this out a bit with a different side. Just gonna soften it up with the clean side. Tone this down a little bit. Because that is intense. Honey, that is real intense. I'm really impressed with this Blendiful and how it like made my skin. My skin actually looks really, really good. It's just a little bit dry, but I will use setting spray to kind of like melt it all in. So I went ahead and I put some bronzer on my eyes, put some mascara on, put my lip products on, and put like a little bit of product in my brows. And so now I'm going to set my face and give you my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the Tati Beauty Blendiful is that I really, really like it. What I will use it mostly for is my primer, foundation, concealer, and powder, and also my highlight. Like, really blown away by how pretty my highlight looks with this, and I've seen a few people use this with their highlighters and it did not do that. So I don't know if it's just the Jaclyn Hill highlighters and the creaminess to them, but wow, this is even more intense than a brush would be for me, in my opinion and my experience. So I would definitely use this for those few things. Everything looks really smooth. My skin looks smooth. I wouldn't probably use it for bronzer, contour, and blush just because I feel like I had to work with it a little bit more and it took me a little bit longer and I kind of like want to get things done quickly. But if I needed to like just bring the one thing like without brushes, you could totally do your entire face with this one thing. Everything blended together nice. I don't see any harsh lines, which is something that she quotes on her packaging is no harsh lines, and I do not see any harsh lines in my bronzer, blush, or contour, so I do think it lives up to that claim that it really blends everything out and makes everything smooth and like melt together onto your skin. So yeah, I'm really impressed by this and I definitely need some more practice with it, but upon first impression with those products that I used, it worked really, really well. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this more and testing it out, and I'll be curious to test it out with some different foundations because just because this worked well for these foundations doesn't mean it's going to work well for all my foundations, but I feel like as long as your skin is kind of in a good place, then this will work good for you. If you have a lot of dry patches on your skin, I'm not sure how well this would smooth over it. And I also just wanted to mention quickly that I did not have any shedding happen on my skin. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I wasn't sure if that would be a problem because it did have like little pieces of like fluff coming off of it, but it was totally fine. Nothing ended up on my skin. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed by the application. My first time using it, and I don't know, I didn't know what to expect. I was really terrified actually to use it because I didn't know how my skin would look and if I would actually have to like take all the foundation off after I was done. But it looks really good and I can't wait to try some of the other stuff that Tati comes out with. And this cute little guy, I'm definitely going to blot and like see how it does. So I'm really impressed by this, and my final thoughts, first impression, I really enjoyed it and I highly recommend it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys!